Ever wondered how World War II in the Pacific really ended? Many think it was just the atomic bombs. But there's another story. A massive, swift military campaign that often gets overlooked. In just 11 days, the Soviet Union launched an assault that crippled Japan's most formidable force, the Kwantung Army, and arguably hastened the end of the war just as much as the bombs. Let's set the stage. It's August 1945. Germany has surrendered, but Japan is still fighting fiercely. The Allies are preparing for a costly invasion of the Japanese mainland. Meanwhile, Stalin, after the Yalta Conference, had promised to enter the war against Japan 3 months after Germany's defeat, and he was a man of his word. On August 9th, 1945, the same day the second atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, the Soviet Union declared war on Japan. What followed was a military match. Over 1.5 million Soviet troops, backed by thousands of tanks and aircraft, surged into Manchuria, a vast territory in northeast China, controlled by Japan. They called it the August Storm. The Japanese Kwantung Army, once an elite force, was a shadow of its former self. Its best units had been redeployed to fight the Americans in the Pacific. What remained was a mix of undertrained reservists, raw recruits, and colonists, with outdated equipment and critically low supplies of fuel and ammunition. They were spread thin across a massive frontier, expecting an attack but completely unprepared for its scale and speed. The Soviet strategy was a classic pincer movement on an epic scale. 3 separate army groups, Kadid fronts, attacked from the west, north, and east. From due west, forces crossed the Gobi Desert, a feat the Japanese thought impossible for a large mechanized army. From the east, they pushed through heavily fortified mountain ranges, and from the north, they advanced down the Sungari River. The speed was breathtaking. Soviet tank columns didn't wait for infantry. They just kept rolling, bypassing pockets of resistance and driving deep into enemy territory. They covered hundreds of kilometers in a matter of days. The Japanese command structure completely fell apart. Communications were cut, and units were isolated and overwhelmed before they even knew what was happening. It was chaos. The Kwantung Army, which had once terrorized China, simply disintegrated. Within Onsei days. By August 20th, the Soviets had effectively conquered all of Manchuria. They had captured major cities, destroyed what was left of the Japanese army, and were even preparing for landings on the Japanese home islands. The numbers are staggering. The Soviets suffered around 32,000 casualties. In contrast, the Japanese lost nearly 700,000 soldiers, with most being captured. That's a loss of almost 87% of their force in the region. This devastating defeat sent a shockwave through the Japanese government. They had hoped the Soviet Union might act as a neutral mediator for a conditional surrender. With the Red Army now steamrolling through their last continental stronghold, that hope was gone. Faced with the atomic bombings and the complete collapse of their army in Manchuria, Emperor Hirohito finally made the decision to surrender unconditionally on August 15th. So, while the atomic bombs were a terrifying new reality, the Soviet invasion was the final, conventional military blow that sealed Japan's fate. It was a decisive, lightning-fast campaign that showcased the raw power of the Soviet war machine and played a crucial, though often forgotten, role in bringing the Second World War to its ultimate conclusion. Thanks for watching. If you found this piece of hidden history interesting, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world. See you next time.